right. Let's see, when was the last time you and I actually spoke? It's been
Probably a year ago or so.
Yeah, February 2021. Okay.
Yeah, a little
How
bit more
how
than a
life
year.
is how life has changed. How are you doing? I mean, outside of
Yeah, outside.
the
Okay,
obvious.
got you. Despite of this awful war, I'm fine.
Okay.
My wife is pregnant.
Oh, hey, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's 6 months, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, nice. Almost.
It's gonna be boy.
It's gonna be a boy. All right.
Yeah,
Nice. First child.
it's yeah, first.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congrats.
you have many, I remember.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, we're a baseball team for sure. So excellent. Yeah, I've been busy. I mean, this is what I do all the time, all day, almost every day. So my schedule's been good, full. So I've been, teaching English and just doing all that. So yeah. But no, a few weeks ago, the reports started coming, that like social media was starting to get closed down, and there's always been this fear that maybe the internet within Russia would kind of become completely localized. I've been having that conversation for a couple of years. So I remember a couple of weeks ago when I started hearing that social media was getting not only censored and banned, but some of them were pulling out. I think TikTok pulled out. I went through my Skype like rolodex and just started scrolling through like who haven't I talked to in a long time, and just started flinging out like, hey, how are you, and yeah, you responded. So yeah, here we are.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's going on. A lot of bans, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter in Russia. Also, we have some rumors about local internet, like in North Korea, but it's just rumors for now.
Sure. And that's been on, I think that's been on the radar. I've at least been having that conversation with Russians since 2019. So that there was this kind of fear that it might happen, especially among the software developers.
Yeah, we have this rumors a long time ago. We had it, but now because of our blocks or bans, it's common now.
Yeah,
everybody is thinking about it.
Sure. So I made, when I was going through Skype, I think what stopped me was your profile picture. So that's when I was like, oh, Ukraine. Okay, I haven't talked to him in a while. But I didn't go back and check my notes. You actually live in Russia. So now you say you're 50-ish kilometers.
Yeah, kind of 50 or 60 kilometers to border with Ukraine.
Okay.
And 120 or so to Mariupol, the most damaged city. In Ukraine.
Devastating. Absolutely devastating. Okay. Now, on the map that you shared with me the other day, it looks like you live in some sort of bay area. It's kind of
it's Azov Sea. Yeah.
Okay. So is that kind of explain what does life look like there, right on that sea? Does it affect your economy? Like what is your area?
It's quite shallow sea. It's not good place for shipping or so. We have some kind of this industry, but in Taganrog it's not.
Okay, so it's not a huge driver in the economy.
It's not a huge. It's very shallow. It's not a huge. It's not a Black Sea.
Okay, nothing like that.
It's more smaller. It's smaller, much smaller.
Okay, nice. So what has I started having this conversation about the buildup of troops on the Ukrainian border, early to mid-December, somebody brought it to my attention. So I'm invested in my students and their life and their culture. So I started tracking it. From where I was sitting, it was looking pretty serious. Some of the news that we were getting was pretty serious. I tried to incorporate that into my conversations with people in Ukraine and in Russia. And for those couple months, it was like nothing to see, just a war of words. We're used to this, no big deal, blah, blah, blah. And then everything changed on February 24th. So what was that like for you? Kind of that build up going in and then that moment of, oh my God, here we are.
It was shock for me. It was shock for everybody here in Russia, even for pro-Putin dickheads. So it was so unexpected. It was unexpected for Russian government. I mean, probably the closest person to Putin they knew, but most of generals, government, administration, they
everybody
did not.
Everybody kind of woke up like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was shock.
Okay.
So, despite of all warnings from the United States, I mean, investigation or intelligence of the United States, kind of, we read it in news a lot, but nobody believed in that.
Yeah, amazing. So
it was unbelievable.
Yeah. So what's it been like for you the last few weeks, month, I guess? It's been over a month now.
Yeah, it's a month already. Time is moving very fast, you know. It's definitely the most awful thing that I've ever known. So first couple of weeks, I was in a depressed, was deeply ashamed of my country, as many people there. Wasn't able to do anything, you know. Now it's better because time heals. This is how human nature works, I'd say.
Sure. Yeah. No. It was the same experience for me as well. I mean, I was even the night before it began. I was talking to people. You know, somebody was like, who had family within Ukraine. It was like, you need to call, give him a call tonight. Please give him a call tonight, because it felt like this was the moment. And those first 2 weeks, I was waking up, checking my phone, just going through Instagram to see like, are my Ukrainian friends, especially like, is their profile like green, or when was the last time that they logged in, just because I didn't know. Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep.
Yeah, that's terrible. I have many friends in Ukraine, have some relatives in Ukraine. They are not so close relatives. It's the second cousin and his family, his father, mother, his wife. So they're living in Kharkov, and last month they has been in a shelter.
Okay.
So Kharkov has been damaged quite much, not so much as Mariupol, but a lot as well.
So being that close to the Ukrainian border, I mean, literally, those are your neighbors. I mean, literally. I think you mentioned to me the other day that, before all this, was there just like this free back and forth? I mean, Ukrainians and Russians on the border, kind of living.
It was free under the 2014, under the annexion of Crimea. Okay. It was absolutely free. It wasn't like you even didn't need have a like foreign passport.
Okay, so it was just
just Russian or Ukrainian passport was enough for moving through border.
Okay, and how would you describe like what the relationship was like? I mean,
it's very bad. Very
now
sad.
It's bad. Yeah.
Now it's bad. After 2014, it was not so bad as now.
Mm-hmm.
Like kept in touch,
Okay.
many friends, so
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't bad. I'd say it was like neutral, because before we had a really good like relationship, really good, friendly.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it seems like it would just be a natural relationship. I mean, you guys share the same body of water. You guys share a close border together.
Yeah, we have the same genes. We are almost the same nation, you know. It's like now for me, I'm gonna give you an example. It looks like Korea, you know, and we are Korean, but Russia is the north and Ukraine is the south.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's a bit like that. You obviously, I mean, you're so close to Mariupol, so that one seems to affect you quite a bit as far as what you're seeing and hearing.
We see many vehicles, many tanks in our city. So here helicopters, planes, so.
Okay.
Already I heard that some missile strikes on plane, no, not plane, on military bases. You know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you've got Russian military not too far from
Yeah,
where
not
you
too
live.
far. It's not involved to war, but they are keeping some planes there. And I heard about missile strike from Ukraine to our Russian military base. But
So,
rocket was destroyed in air by anti-air system, Russian anti-air system.
oh, okay. But they flung one out there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You went for it. All right. What are your right now everybody's it's hard to predict, what's gonna go
it's
through
unpredictable.
Putin's mind next, right? But so everybody's kind of got this spectrum of, okay, short-term worst case scenario, long-term worst case scenario. Like where are you at on that spectrum, or are you on both sides of the spectrum and you just simply don't know?
I think, as you know, Russian invasion has been stopped now for a while, and they are trying to get Mariupol. It's the main point now for them. So next, when Russian forces will be free, probably they will try to take something else. So I think this way. I don't expect a chemical weapon now or nuclear weapon.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
It's a long term, probably.
It's a long-term approach. Yeah, I'm kind of taking the long-term approach as well. I think the short-term worst case scenario would, in my opinion, would just become bloody hell. Multinational bloody hell. Long term, yeah, I don't know, man. Putin has, he's gonna be able to be on the throne until 2036. So that's he's not in a hurry. I mean, he doesn't have to be in a hurry. I think if it does get to a slowdown point from where I'm sitting, it seems like I hope his patience isn't stronger than like the West's resolve to stay united, in this battle. But I have a few concerns over the next couple of years. But
yeah, it won't be stopped soon for sure.
So you don't live near, like, how many people live in your town?
250,000 or so.
250,000. So it's rather
it's like it's medium town. I'd say.
That's
medium.
Medium-sized Russian city. Okay. Okay. And how has things been affected, like as far as, because obviously you're under sanctions right now.
Yeah.
What does that feel like for you?
Prices are raising up
Mm-hmm.
dramatically for some goods, like electrical goods, like laptops,
Mm-hmm.
SSD, HDD, cars, details for cars. For food, it's not so bad. It's like plus 20% or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Gas is the same. I heard that in the United States, prices for gas is rising dramatically.
yeah, it has gone up, and dramatically is a relative. It's a relative term. I mean, yeah, I think it's gone up, maybe close to $2 since.
How much is it in percent? I mean, plus 30 or
Maybe close to 40, maybe up
40?
40%. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's not dramatically. I was wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why I said that's kind of a relative, it's
Relative.
kind of a relative term. It's like, if you compare gas prices to other places in the world, we're still paying quite a bit less than most people. But yeah, we started feeling the inflation, maybe end of October. Definitely by November we started to see it. I don't know how much. I imagine if my attention was brought to the buildup of troops like in early to mid-December, I imagine American intelligence probably had information well before I did, right? So I imagine, and I know that Ukraine last year in the spring was really started requesting more of the defensive equipment. So
yeah,
there must have been some tremor underground saying that Putin is moving in this direction, at a level that you and I are not aware of. I'm sure those conversations were happening at a serious level last year. So it doesn't surprise me to see like that inflation is where it's at right now. But you think about, I mean, it's wartime. If I'm going to have to pay $4 per gallon for some gasoline, and it's not me or my children who are out there on the battlefield, it's a small price to pay. It's a small price to pay. And in fact, I feel guilty about it. Sometimes
it's nothing.
It's nothing. Mm-mm, mm-mm. So, all right. Well, good. What what do you see as far as like just the next couple of years? What are you feeling that this means for you and your country? And
Nothing good. Really nothing good. Yeah. Prices will rise. People will be getting more poor. Crime rate will be rising.
Okay.
So nothing good.
A lot of the Russians that I've talked to since the beginning of this, particularly once the sanctions began to take effect, they are describing it as kind of like it feels like this snowball that just keeps getting bigger and bigger. At first it was like, okay, we're being sanctioned, we can handle this. And then the next week it's like, okay, this is a bit more of a concern for me. And then the next week it's like, what's going on?
Yeah, the snowball has been started at 2014 after annexion of Crimea, I'd say.
Okay.
Because the ratio between door and rubble was changed dramatically at that time, almost twice. Yeah.
Okay. So you've been feeling the snowball for years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Years. Life level is getting down.
Okay. The quality of life has been decreasing.
Yeah, quality of life in general, salaries, prices, pollution, social sphere, police, I'd say.
There is that, yes. the question that I get a lot, and I talk to a lot of Ukrainians, right? And obviously, right now they're dealing with their own thing, and when you talk to a Ukrainian and you're dealing with there's a certain level of heartbreak, there's trauma, but there's this real anger involved too. And when I talk to them, like I just kind of I let them go. Like this would not be an appropriate time for me to go. It'll be okay. It'll be okay because it's not okay right now. But there seems to be this, and I think it's kind of a global picture too. It's almost like the world wants to see the problem of Putin handled from inside of Russia. That is where it needs to really be addressed. It would be very easy. It would be very John Wayne, cowboyish, to just fly a bunch of jets in to Russia and like it's a movie or something. When this is not a movie, this is really happening. So, yeah. How would you describe? I know that if you protest, you get arrested. Like like all of it. That's very real. How would you describe, like, from what you can see, like the Russian mentality right now, as far as how to cope with this?
This is a good question. According to some surveys, but I'm not sure in legitimacy of it, more than 70 of Russians support this shameful war.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I hope that it's not true, but propaganda influences a lot, and many people just believe to propaganda from TV, or hear from their friends, relatives, their opinion that they formed through propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
So mentality, in my opinion, most of Russians are neutral. They don't say anything about war. They are not against. They are not. They don't support. The next is Russians who are against, and the last part, the smaller part, is Russians who are supporting this war. So in my opinion, Russians is just victims of propaganda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I truly believe that it will be changed.
Mm-hmm. You think the
future?
You think the propaganda machine will eventually crumble, or do you think it's going to become?
Yeah. I truly believe that Putin will leave, probably.
Okay. I hope so. Yeah. For me, the last couple of weeks, once I got through the initial shock and trauma of those first couple of weeks, and then had to look at myself in the mirror and say, okay, it's time to move. You've got to move forward here. You got to start eating again. The issue that's been most on my mind, I think, has been the power of the propaganda across the board in all of this. So when you say that like 70% of Russians are probably heavily influenced by state media, I imagine.
For sure.
Yeah. Even, I have a lot of students. Most of my students, I would say, and this is across all countries, are relatively professional, educated, have contact with the world outside of their home country, so they're aware of a bigger narrative happening in the world. But even in the months leading up to February 24th, I noticed, like, within my Russian students, like, when I would bring up, so like, hey, what are your thoughts on buildup over at Ukraine, like even then there was a bit of pushback on me, like, what are you, you a liberal or something? And I was like, okay, I get it. That's when I started to really feel the danger of the propaganda machine. And so how do you protect yourself from all of the misinformation and the lies, and how do you make it through those family holidays where there's just certain things you just don't talk about?
I'm trying to avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, I mean, talking with my friends or relatives about war.
Mm-hmm.
If their opinion is different to mine, if they prefer to say nothing or support war. So I think the point is lack of time or lack of desire for searching independent sources, for checking information, or just at least analyze propaganda. Propaganda, I mean, analyze information from TV. So I've been not watching TV since 2008 or 2009. Okay. When my parents bought a PC for me and I got internet connection, I got YouTube. So
yeah,
it's not hard for me. But when I have argues with people who are supporting war, supporting Putin, we have many people who are supporting Putin and don't support war, and people who are supporting war and don't support Putin. This is a really strange thing, because people who are supporting war and don't support Putin, they are kind of people from Soviet Union, imperialistic views, you know. So I don't know how it works really, because it's in my opinion, it's so simple to get proper and correct, to get truth from independent sources, to analyze information. So I think it's laziness.
Laziness.
Laziness. Yeah. Laziness is a problem of Russians.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'll give you that one because I'm not Russian. I don't know, but I mean, you can see that everywhere when it comes to information consumption. It's no secret that I don't have my phone with me, but it's no secret, that the social media in America, particularly like Facebook, it's become people's main source of news and education, and it creates that bubble, that vacuum that the algorithm keeps feeding you stuff that you appear to be interested in, and how that rewires your mind and actually structures your reality. It's no surprise to me that for 2 months, when I was kind of out here trying to wave a flag, going, there's something really bad about to happen, that people, for whatever reason, didn't see it, didn't hear it. And that's become a very important thing for me. I'm trying to get down deep into, like, what is it about propaganda and misinformation that structures our reality in such a way. So I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago with an old Russian friend. Actually, the same day that I flung that "Hey, how are you?" out to you, she responded that same day. So we've been chatting. We were the same age. We're pretty much the same age. So, I was a kid at the end of the Cold War, right? She was a kid at the end of the Cold War, but we were on different sides of the curtain, at that point. So back then we never would have had the opportunity to get to know each other. And then for the last 30 years, the world, our lives have been able to intersect. and now that curtain is closing again, and I could sense the anxiety in her that she was going to have to go back to how life was when she was a little girl. And I think it was just such a hard one. But she even, at one point, she was like, she looked at me and said, "How do I even know that I can trust you?" And that kind of blew my mind a little bit. That's like, here's somebody that I've known for a while, and that they're in a place right now where they're like, I don't even know if you're telling me the truth. So just the power of that propaganda is bewildering to me. So I think the most important thing is for us just to just to be able, as long as there's internet connection, we just need to stay communicating.
Yeah, we need to analyze information, because propaganda comes from both sides,
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we know the truth. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, cool. Do you have any questions for me? Is there anything you want to know from this side?
I think I have no questions.
Okay. So what are you doing these days, daily? Are you still working?
Yeah, I'm working. Today is day off, because it's Sunday. But in general, I'm working.
Okay.
I'm fine now. As I said before, it's better than first couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So just working.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about immigration. But
okay.
my wife doesn't support me. So.
Okay. So you're gonna stay.
This is a problem. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've talked to a lot of people that have said they waited too long to get out. They waited too long to get out.
Yeah. I heard that 250,000 people have left Russia according to this war. And
just mm-hmm.
bans, restrictions. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I actually saw something the other day that was actually tracking the Russian immigration. It went back at least a year, maybe 2 years, where there's just been this steady increase of people. I saw this one story of these guys. This guy bought, I think he flew into Mexico or something, rented a car. This was like a year ago. Rented a car to drive across the U.S. border, and then just left the car. It's just like he made it. He was gone. That was it. So. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, most of Russian moves now to Georgia, Turkey, Armenia, and European countries.
Okay.
Serbia, or so, because it's easy to get to those places now.
Sure. Okay.
Because many European countries have been blocked their tickets, their plane.
Yeah.
Flights, so there's not so many opportunities.
Okay. Well, good, man. Well, good. Thanks for taking some time with me today and just connecting a little bit. And
Thank you too for your supporting.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that someday we can see the healing. Obviously, right now this is not the right time to sit down and to heal. Not as long as the bombs are still dropping. There will be a time, but I hope that in the future we're all able to continue to tell our stories about how this affected us. So cool, man. Well, congratulations on your new baby. Stay in touch, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, and give my best to your family. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, Mike.